You are responsible for your child's failures or successes. Greetings, everyone. This is TAIFA, World Minister of Education. How's everyone doing today? I would just stop by to tell you my experience doing education as a teacher of English. You will not believe how far your children are behind, or you can say the village children, the tribal children. They are so far behind. And one subject that's most important for your child to keep up is reading. How do you let your child spend his free time? Do you force him to read? Or you let him do what he want to do? Or you let her watch TV? TV is dumbing down your child. It's keeping them in a childlike state. It's comfort food for the dumb. That's why some adults just can't tear themselves away from TV. It keeps them in a childhood state. Nobody on there acts like they over 14 years old. So it keeps them in that childhood state. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Because when your child don't know how to read well, everything is going to be hard. All the subjects are going to be difficult. Because if you can't read, you're going to be behind. Now, the pale face, I've observed them in their homes. Their children read all the time. If they're going to have a fun activity, they got to read first. And while they are traveling about, like if they're going someplace, they're reading. They're reading the signs. They're telling them to read. And see, when you're reading in a car, it helps you to read fast. Because you got to read fast to read the signs. So there's many things you can do to increase your child's reading speed. And you should practice them. You should read to them. That's the best thing at a young age to read. Read to the child in the womb. Studies have shown to prove that reading to the child in the womb will increase their intelligence. That's a life form. The brain is growing. And if you need to do this job real quick, I mean, you can't wait till the child go to school and decides you're going to start teaching them. No, 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 no. You got to teach them and read to them when they little babies. No, they don't understand, but their brain are being attuned to your words. That's how geniuses, that's how prodigies are made, because they read to the child early. If you read to a real tiny baby as soon as they're born, you don't know how much is being comprehended, and you shouldn't worry about that. You're bringing this child into the world. It's your responsibility to teach that child. There's no such thing as teaching some child too early. Read to them in the womb. Talk to the child in the womb. You have to love that life you're bringing forth. Unless you're one of these murderers. If you value your child, you got to teach them. Because I'm tired of seeing melanated children, tribal children, so far behind of other people. So when they go to crime, whose fault is it? Yeah, they go to crime because they're not able to qualify themselves for a job. Whose fault is that? Did you do all you could as a parent, raising that child, talking to it in the womb, loving that child unconditionally, and not hollering at the child, putting guilt trips on the child, putting complexes on the child, but just talking to the child when they do something wrong, explain why. I've seen so disciplined, pale-faced children. They won't move without their parents' permission. And I've seen unruly tribal children, even on a plane or train, they're running down the aisle because you're afraid to spank the child. That child's get hurt. Whose fault is that? That's your fault. So that's it. I just want to, those of you who have children or plan to have children, start talking to the child while it's in the womb and keep teaching it before we go. When it goes to school, it should know everything a third grader should know. It should be ahead of the class because schools are designed to keep you dumb. You know that. You went to public schools. You knew how boring the teacher were, how unmotivated you was, how when they can't keep you motivated because they have no imagination, they'll label you as because you won't pay attention because they have nothing to keep your attention. These teachers will label your child as having a mental learning disability, attention deficit disorder. Translated means this teacher is not teaching me anything, not teach me about myself, not teach me anything to hold my interest, trying to teach me how to be other than myself, treat me like I'm a prisoner, and I'm just rebelling against that because you don't know how to teach me. I'm not going to pay attention to you. So it's your job, parents, to teach your children. If you fail that, you have failed your child. You got to do better. We got to do better. If you don't have time to teach your child, don't have any children. Don't be a disservice to the child before he has a chance. Give that child a chance. Teach him in the womb. Mothers, you can't have a career and call yourself being a good parent. It's impossible. You're putting that child under more stress than it can handle. Your stress becomes the child's stress, and you wonder why they come out with problems when they get teenagers. Them your problems. That's the stress you gave them in the womb. It's manifesting itself. So someone said we're entering a golden age. We'll see. And the first what we can see if we're entering a golden age of how the schools are going to improve, how the curriculum is going to improve. If they improve the curriculum, I'll go back and substitute teach. Do you know if you're teaching a child right, you won't have school shootings? What make a child so angry that they want to shoot up the school and the teachers? What are they angry at? Could it be being miseducated, being taught lies, being programmed and they rejecting that? I'm just asking a question. I'm not forming any opinions. But I think one thing that's going to change is these social media is going to change because all these people who are keeping, preventing intelligent people from being trying to shadow ban their videos. They're going to be dealt with because let me tell you, not only is people being fired in Washington, it's like an edict went out from the president. He's not tolerating this nonsense. The school's gonna have to improve. You as a teacher gonna have to improve, or you're gonna be dismissed. You got to move up. You got to move up your game. Those things that worked in the past are not gonna work anymore. You're not gonna be able to call out children learning disabled because you don't have a teaching plan. You don't have anything to keep the child's attention. So you blame the child. Shame on you. Shame on you. And how society has failed for that. But I'm here to tell you, I was in the schools. I've seen how these teachers come out of school trying to teach by the book. Look, you're not teaching children from your own background, from your own culture. You have no understanding of how to teach children who are not a part of your community. You shouldn't be teaching them to begin with. That's when we started. I'm talking about the tribal people, the tribal community started falling backwards when we had our children in the classrooms of these teachers who didn't know how to teach them. A child can feel if you got love for them. They're very, very um, attuned. And nice words, speaking nicely, that doesn't mean anything because they can see right through you. How you doing, Johnny? Please, Johnny, please. They can see right through that. They can feel your vibration. They can feel the hatred in you. So what do? Instead of talking to the parents to find out the personality of the child, you don't want to do that. So you put a label on the child. And this not only happens when they're a little slow, but even if they are very intelligent, the very intelligent child who always got his hand raised, you never call on him because he's always got the right answer or she's always got the right answer. But you won't call on them because you're trying to give that child a complex. That's the way the tribal children are taught, are mistaught in your schools. And so, my people, we can't rely on these schools. We got to get our schools back. We got to get our community back. Nobody's going to help us but us. Why don't you see these other people have problems when they come here? They don't have financial problems. They don't have social problems. For one thing, they get government assistance that you don't know about. When they first come here, they're put in the middle class. That's why you don't see them in your neighborhood. So why would they do that to somebody? See, when you talk about immigrants, America is nothing but an immigrant country. The tribal people are the only people who are not immigrants here. So don't you get mixed up in that immigrant ideas of immigrants. Everybody but you is immigrant. Everybody but you are immigrants, tribal people. You're the only natural person here. Everybody's parents came from somewhere else but yours. And if your parents come from Africa, prove it. You can't prove all these millions of people, and you're going to tell me nobody can prove they came from Africa? That's just because it's a lie. Just look at the idea now. They take your name away. They don't care who you are. If you was a slave, and they don't know where you come from because they didn't care about you. And now they're going to tell you where you're from. And you're going to believe them? I would not let somebody who had no love for my ancestors tell me anything. Because we're the same people. We are our ancestors. They're the same people. They're their father's father's fathers. They haven't changed. So this is a short video or audio because I want you to listen to this when you're driving. You don't have to look at me. I want you to listen to the words, and I want you to let them into your heart and mind, because this is not just for melanated people. All people in America have been kept behind. Yes, you too, white folks. You've been kept behind as well. It's a system. So a system can't just apply to one people. In other words, you can't keep down the tribal people without keeping yourself down. Systems don't work that way. So your child got to be kept down because they want to keep another people down. So you shouldn't stand for it. Some of y'all, man, I'm telling you, some of y'all need to get some. You need to get some courage, because y'all go along with this system, and the system is killing your children. Yes, any children being killed are your children, but you don't see it like that. You say, oh, that's them people. Well, if it happened to them, you think it can't happen to you? I'm going to start showing my face again because some people need to see it. It seems as if you've been conditioned to TV so much. If you don't have a face to look at, you can't really communicate. You never listen to the radio. Well, I don't know what you listen to. I'm just saying that look in the mirror. There's got to be a change. There's got to be a change. One man can't do it. One man can't do the change. You're looking for a savior. Save yourself. You got the keys. You got the power. This is the Ministry of Education. So this is what I want you all to do. This holiday season, when you have some free time, I want you to cut the TV off. I want you to find out what your child likes and just start reading to them and ask them to read. If they don't know a word, show them how to use the dictionary. You should have all different kind of dictionaries because all dictionaries are not the same. And test your child. Tell them to write the word down, spell it. Give them spelling tests on the words they don't know. You have to be the first teacher of your child. What do you think was like in the 19th century? Most of the education was done at home. Matter of fact, all the schools hasn't been here this long. When they got rid of the farms to have everybody move to the cities, that's when schools were created. Schools were created to create a labor class. Because when you was on the farm, not you, maybe your great 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 grandparents, when they was on the farm was a school. The child learned from their parents how to run the farm. Just think of all the skills you learn on a farm. You learn how to take care of animals, you know their habits, you actually know how to communicate with them, you know how to protect nature. You learn all these things on a farm. The economy of food, production. So you learn a lot of things that were useful skills on the farm. You didn't need to know anything else. So I'm telling you, this whole program to get the people off the farms, to get them into the cities, to miseducate them, to make them dependent. You lost your independence because if you're not producing your own food, you cannot be free. If you're not producing your own food, you cannot be free. Because you have to give your labor that you should be using to grow your own food. You're giving your labor in exchange for somebody else to give you money for you to buy your food. So the whole system of education was designed to create a labor class. So, paleface, you've been just as much a slave as anyone else. But you thought your privileges would keep you at a different level. Now you see, now you, at least the last 4 years, those who have intelligence have seen the real plan. It has nothing to do with race and class. People don't care about you at all. And a lot of y'all listening are just got so much fear in y'all. I don't know how y'all live with yourself. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to let you dwell on these words. Go back and listen to this at least 3 times. Then you may have heard some things I've said and can put them to practice. Until next time, Minister of Education, TAIFA World Ministries. Hiya to the tribe. And those who are not of the tribal community, you're welcome as well. We don't discriminate. Anybody want to come in and anyone brave enough to come in and say hi? I see some people in the in the in the queue. Well, maybe it's not you. Maybe YouTube is not letting y'all come in. Yeah, I think that's it because there's a lot of fear about these managers of this forum. They've been told that they've been given directions to do certain things. That's their job, but they don't know they're creating bad karma for themselves when they do that. When you do a job and follow guidelines that is not right, you're going to pay for that. That's bad karma. Or if you don't pay for it, your children's going to pay for it. Do you want that for your children? I think not. That's why you should do right because it's right to do. How you to the tribe?